Hey, Kenny. There's Noah. Yeah, hopefully. Right now it's not bad as far as the weather goes. I guess she's still in the Gulf, stirring up some power. So she hasn't officially hit yet. Now they're saying it will be 2 a.m., I think. So I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm just going to wait a little bit. There's Johnny. Hey, Johnny. Just going to wait a little bit for some people to come in. I think we got a couple more minutes left. If you guys hear anime in the background, that would be Anthony in the living room watching anime. I was going to use this tripod. Yes, Noah, I think we're going to do another live stream. Now, this weekend, my sister is actually going to be giving birth. So I don't know what I'll have on hand to drink this weekend, or how much drinking I'll be able to do. But yes, I am taking my tarot cards, and that is still going to be a thing. I'm still gonna try and do it, and hopefully my sister can partake afterwards as well. I'm not sure what the dates are or what they land on, but we'll see. It'll be pretty nice. So I'm gonna go ahead, I guess. Is it 8:30? I think it's about 8:30 now, right? Right, Travis? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since this video, since a flip through has been done. So I'm gonna go ahead. I figured, why not do it live, right? Why not? So again, I apologize for shakiness. I was gonna use the tripod, but my bed is the easiest place to open this monster up and let it lay flat right now, so the dogs don't trample over it and stuff like that. I've got Black Cat, we're witchy. It's witchy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this started. So obviously it's a really big book. If you guys haven't seen the book, or for any future watchers who want to... Good, Johnny. I'm doing good. Thank you. Hi, Salem. But this is the book if you haven't seen it before. It is about 4.5 inches thick, and it is 11 by 14 inches long. The triquetra, somebody asked me on Facebook today where I get my decals for my books. It's not a decal. If you look really, really close, you can see that it's actually leather that I've pieced together. And oops, sorry for the shakiness. I actually make these. I make everything by hand. All the books that I do, I make by hand. I cut the triquetras, the symbols, whatever goes on it. I cut all that. My book is post-bound, so there's that. And if anybody has any questions, just thanks, Noah. I appreciate that. But if anybody has any questions, just put them in, with caps. And yeah, we'll go from there. But my book is post-bound. I've ripped it by being a little too rough, but that's okay. I fixed it. These are the decorative end papers I use. Now, my book is a lot of my own art, but you'll see that I stole a lot of art as well from different shows or movies or what have you that I liked. So obviously this being from Charmed, and this is a Witch's Read or Creed. I gave the book a will of its own, so that way family members will know, where the book goes if I die unexpectedly. This is a crest that I did of my grandfather's side of the family because I found it fascinating. Little quote there. And a lot of it is self-explanatory, and a lot of it is already in some of my old flip-throughs. And nothing in this book right now is private. This is like my public book, if you will. So a lot of these spells you'll see you can find in books or online. I may have tweaked them a little bit to fit my personal vendetta. I don't think that one or this one was in the last flip through video I did. It's been a while, guys. A matter of years. Protection from storms. I actually did this during Hurricane Irma. Fun fact. And if you guys have any, again, specific questions, or if you want me to go back and look at a page again or something like that, just let me know. Hair growth. It's a fun one. You gotta put love spells in a big detail because, But yeah, most of it I do by hand. That's by hand. That's obviously just for art, but there's a Scott Cunningham past life spell for you. The magic circle. Ooh. Everybody's so quiet. I hope everybody's enjoying. And obviously there's a lot of pages that just haven't been done yet. Usually I used to work on, adjusting my glasses. I used to work on pages one at a time. And lately, thank you, Kenny. Lately, I've been working on pages, multiple pages or sections at a time because, they've just gotten so detailed, especially with writing and art. This is printed, so I did this artwork myself, but I photocopied it when I upsized to the bigger book. So and that's why some of the pages are so dark. They're so darker. So much darker than what they were. Or faded. Some of them are faded, darker. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite Sabbat art things. Yeah, the corn and him. It's just amazing. Just amazing. Thank you, Witch of Enchantment. I really appreciate it. I've worked really hard over the last few years on this book. Let me just adjust here. Ugh. And I use a lot of camera probably won't pick it up, but I use a lot of shiny gold paint, and it's not gonna pick it up. Oh well. It's shiny, I promise. Believe me, it's shiny. The Covening, though I've never personally done it. Way back when I wrote out my own description. And then here I've got hand fastening and the artwork from Charmed, but I'm going to put my own ritual behind the thefted art, if you will. The Simple Feast. Releasing the Circle. Oh, thank you, Noah. Noah's so cool. Since Noah brought it up, my shop, I do make books like this for sale. I do commissions, if you will. Everything is completely custom made. So basically you place the order, let me know what you want as far as colors. I do both aged and unaged paper, and you'll basically end up with something a lot like this, but maybe different colors, different ribbon colors, stuff like that. But anyway, there's a 25% off sale going on right now, and you get free shipping for orders over $50. So that's going on until it ends. So make sure you take advantage of that while you can. The book is one of my favorite tools in witchcraft because, I think I mentioned it on Lady Grave Dancer's live Spirit Talk, but where I'm from, granny witches use Bibles to keep everything. Harper, why are you crying? She's at the door. She wants in. But where I'm from, granny witches use Bibles. They stuff everything in their Bibles. And so I think that's kind of where I picked up on, the Book of Shadows being my favorite thingy tool, Yeah. This is my Herbal index, glossary. I don't know what you'd call it. But I've got pictures, all artwork that I found on Google for free, plus their common English name and their Latin names. I've had a lot of requests for pages like this to be, for people to put in their own books, and I'm working on it. So I found out I used to offer like the Sabbat pages back here. Let's see if I can pull one up. But I used to offer the Sabbat pages and a few other handfuls of things, God and Goddess pages for Book of Shadows. And when I had an Etsy, I used to sell like printable digital copies of the art that's in my book. And then I left Etsy because they're awful. And now I'm with Shopify. And for a while, I had no way of, I had no way of, doing the digital sales or digital products. But now I do. So now it's just a matter of getting a stock together. Anna, you asked how I do the artwork. So this artwork is not my artwork originally. Like I said, my book is half my original art. Well, I'd say probably mostly my original art, and some art that I took or found online that's free. And the the tree, the Celtic tree page, like Kenny said, he has the same page in his book, in one of his books that he bought from, I'm not even going to try the name, but from another bookmaker. And these pages, the herbal glossary, I found each herb individually online and edited it to fit on pages like this so I could have like a little glossary to flip through. But they are gorgeous pages. Gorgeous pages. Anna, yes, if you have like a program like Photoshop, it's really easy. But I also recommend, it's a little more work, but I also recommend if you have like a tablet, there is an app. Oh, what is it called? Procreate. Procreate is really good too. But some people don't have, the computer skills, so they've asked me if I could come up with a digital copy of like this. So I'm working on that. I don't feel comfortable putting a time on it because it's a lot of work. But yes, Noah, Procreate is amazing. Amazing. So anyway, I mean, just look at that maple. And like, I was so scared because I literally, I decided to up the size of my book when I made this one, because my book was 9 by 12. And again, this one's 11 by 14. And I was so scared because with my, with the pages I had already done and also this, I was really scared of how the printer would, how it would look. But I am so glad that they turned out okay. They turned out pretty good. And always print on aged paper. Don't age the paper after you print, especially if you're using an inkjet printer. Just take my word for it. I get asked that a lot, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Printing first, or sorry, scratch that. Aging first, printing second. Magic Weaver, intimidating, yes. Especially, I mean, for me, the intimidation was, and these are, by the way, if you guys want to see, these are more of the herb names. This is a table of common and, folk names. Folk names. So, but yeah, Magic Weaver said that bigger books are more intimidating. I would say they're definitely more intimidating when you're going from a smaller size to the bigger size. But because for me, I had so much already in my smaller book. Hi, Jen. That I didn't want to lose. or have to redo. So for me especially, it was really intimidating. But once you make that leap, okay, and this right here is something that is so nice about bigger books. You see how it just lays flat? My pages aren't up flying around. That right there, and it may be silly, but that right there is why I went to a bigger book. Because it doesn't matter what the pages are made out of, what weight. Thank you, Jennifer. It doesn't matter what type of pages you use, unless they're like tissue paper, like super light, a 9 by 12 or smaller will not necessarily lay like this. Now, a 9 by 12 that I make will lay flat as far as this goes, but the pages will still, they'll still stick up. But this was my goal. This was what I wanted because it was so difficult to remain on one page during ritual or just while working on the book alone. So this was my inspiration. And I know it sounds silly, but this just means so much to me. Like the fact that it just lays. Oh, it's gorgeous. 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 Okay. Anyway, now that I've nerded out over that, my crystal grid pages are done. The juicier stuff is in the back of the book, I gotta say. I don't know if you guys may have remembered some of this, but I changed this page, the Celtic Hollows page. That's different. But the juicier stuff is in the back. I gotta say. Correspondences for days of the week. And obviously you guys have seen this. This is offline. You can kind of tell what's my handwriting. And like, I printed out a lot of stuff because, at first I didn't want to write a lot, but I don't know. Now I'm leaning more towards my own handwriting. Oh, gosh. Thank you, Angie. Jennifer, I actually went out and bought a printer. I listen, let me just, hands getting tired. But I literally went out and bought a printer. It is ginormous. Magic Weaver, no, I haven't tried making my own inks, mostly because I hate writing with like fountain pens or quills. I hate it. The aesthetic is nice, so like my back. Okay, I'm back. My screen froze. I don't know what the deal was with that. But anyway, I don't like writing with quill and ink or fountain pen type deals. I just don't like it. I'm not good at it. I'm actually... Right, do you know anything about the Chamber of Secrets? But I don't... So I might do it for spell work, but I don't do it for my book. I just prefer these fancy little gel pens I get from, large market stores or like hobby stores. But yeah. Secrets are in the back of the book. I mean, Thank you, Jasmine. I've worked really hard on it over the years, really, really hard. And I'm continuing to work on it. Oh, I forgot these were in here. This will be Kelpies. Leanne and Shay. Leprechauns. Fucus. Selkies. I use this picture because for some reason when I think of Selkies, this picture, which is on the internet, I forget who did it, but it always sticks out to me. I don't know why, but it does. So obviously I'm adding more fae, and I want to add cryptids or whatever you want to call them to this as well. And some Native American spirits that I've run into. Okay. Right, Noah? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Might just let her ass burn. What? So... Magic, yeah, I have. Thanks for the update. I actually just got a notification on my phone. Yeah, I went through Irma, so that was fun. Ended up leaving where I was living at the time to go to Jacksonville because I was afraid of storm surge. I lived really close to the beach and ended up nothing happened. I didn't even lose power last time, so I was lucky. Anyway, this is the end page of the book technically, but I work on stuff in the back. So I want to show you what I'm currently working on. It's a regular inkjet. So the key thing you need to know is whether or not the printer will print on 11 by 17. So these pages that I did came in 11 by 17 inch sheets, and I printed on them and then cut them to size. So I believe they call it poster size or poster grid or something like that. But if you ask, I got mine at I believe it was an Office Depot. But if you ask them if it is 11 by 17 compatible, they'll be able to tell you. And the issue I found was that a lot of times they sold them, but they didn't have them in stock because a lot of offices like to buy them. And I actually got mine on sale. So as long as you get a printer that prints on 11 by 17, you should be able to buy pages that are, or paper that's 11 by 17 and print off and cut it down to size. That's what I found to be the easiest and least heartached way to do it. So the rest of this is all done by hand. Not a problem, Jen. Not a problem. So I'm doing a lot for astrology. I did have every sun sign, but I'm huge on astrology and huge on, where each planet is and, all the houses and stuff like that. So that's what we're working on now. So if you want to see all my crazy handwriting. And this also kind of lets you know or shows you a little bit into my process. So when I make pages, especially when there's a lot of writing, I draw and write in pencil first, right? And then I go over it in ink or pencil, like colored pencil or what have you. So I'm planning on doing a lot of crazy colors. I did not Magic Weaver. When I printed, I did not iron my pages. Um, Rather, what I did instead is I literally loaded each page one by one. I found this to be quicker for me and a little less. It still it still was very. I mean, it was a long process, but it prevented jams, right? So I did not, but I just loaded them in one by one. It took a while, but again, I got what I wanted in the end, so I'm happy. So yeah, everything's gonna be handwritten. I'm doing a humanoid creature for each for each sign, and you've got moon and air. So you've got Aries, you've got Aries sun, Aries moon, yada yada yada. Mercury, I believe is what that one is, and then risings at the end, and then Taurus, and then each planet and rising, and then so on and so forth. So I'm doing the illustrations in pencil and at least getting them down in ink. And I'm doing the symbols in ink, and I'm at least getting all the writing down in pencil before I move on to the next. Because what I thought would be easier would be to just literally, when I get all the illustrations done, to just go back where I left off in the houses and just go over everything and pen at one time. I am so proud of Cancer, though. Look at that. Look at her. Look at her. She's so creepy. I love her. And that's the last sign I have. And then blank, 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 blank. There's more back here. I know there is. I know there's more back here because I was working on some this morning. I know there's more. Uh-huh. Here's the other one I'm working on. I am in love with this. I don't know how I came up with this, but I love it. Somebody told me, Noah, you'll appreciate this. Somebody told me on Instagram when they saw this that this reminds them of from Avatar, the owl spirit in the library. I forget his name, but they said it looks just like him, and I was like, oh my gosh, it does. It really does. Right, right. So great. Anyway, so I'm working on these, and this is another little bit of my process. So oh yeah, no magic. Do not worry. So um don't worry about if anybody else is watching and is worried about perfection, like, first of all, that's another reason why we're doing, you know, posts, because with posts you can rip out Wan Shi Tong. That's the person. Sorry. Anyway, but with posts you can remove and replace anything whenever you want. So um, you can if you put something in there and a few years later you decide you want to redo it or you just want to rip it out, you can remove it without worrying about destroying the whole book. Because that's what I don't like about stuff like this. I went back and forth between something like this, which is just a sketchbook, and a 3-ring binder. And I didn't really love the 3-ring binder either because it destroys the paper, right? And it doesn't look like an actual book. So with post binding, which is really popular in scrapbooks, you get the removability, and you get the look of an actual traditionally bound book. On top of that, this is why I will never be done with this book. Perfection. I will never be done. It will change as often as I do. And yet, even though no page is permanent, I still have a process. I typically, this is my book of mirrors, or book of reflections, if you will. It is very, I'm just going to show you what I do. I'm not going to show you any writing because it's all very private. But if I am somewhere and I want to write something down really quick, I'll put it on notebook or printer paper. And you can see there, I've got a lot of stuff written in here. It's practically almost full of just stuff. And from there, if I want to put it in my permanent book, I will start writing something up. And what I'm starting to do as well is keep another like book of mirrors type thing, but I am doing just the illustrations. So like, right, that is gonna be that. So if you want to see that, I'm really proud of my snaky snake. But anyway, we're gonna try and transfer that. That's what I was working on this morning. Over. And then I've got spider. If you guys want to know more about this particular section, if you're seeing snakes and spiders and owls and you're kind of peaked, I highly recommend Devin Hunter's books. His Witch of Power book series, or the Witch's Book of Power book series. They are very good, and that is where I have picked up this concept. But anyway, and then owl. That is my process. That is my current process. And you can get like tracing paper. I know a lot of us used it in art classes or grade school. You can get tracing paper. That's basically what I did. I just, did the basic thingies. And I'll just do the artwork. So hopefully that's all done by the time we do the next flip through. And you guys can see, all that. Thank you, Magic. I appreciate that. And this was inspired by Charmed as well. And this, I'm really happy to say, is my first attempt at doing watercolor in my book. So I thought, how interesting would it be to use watercolor? And I was kind of nervous because the yes, I use tea bags, and actually something else that works wonders is instant coffee for aging. Instant coffee is amazing. I love it. And that's like, this page, I can tell you now, was stained with instant coffee because you can tell from all the dots in it. But anyway, I was really curious to see how the paper I use, because I'm very specific about what paper I use in my book. It has to be sketchbook weight, because obviously I put it through the ringer, if you will. So I was curious how watercolors would look, and I really enjoyed it. They did, now I'm not very good at watercolors, but you can see where they seeped a little bit. A little bit. But I'm still very proud with the way that came out. Yep, yep, yep. And I think that's it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's all I got. That's it. These are all my empties. And these are pages from, when the book was smaller that I have to redo. I just want to do a size comparison, shall we? Let's do it. Let's just do a size comparison. Look at that. Would you just look at that? Look at how big. Look at those extra margins you get. It's just lovely. So really, I mean, it's a lot bigger, but it's not, right? I mean, it's just a few inches, right? And then of course I use the, thanks Mandy. I use the decorative paper on the other end as well. So that is that, as they say. And the reason why this is folded is because the book, it's not full of pages yet. So see, you can see there's some space in there. Can you see that? There's some space in there. And it's not full on purpose, because if it was full, it'd be even heavier. And I can't, it makes it difficult to work in if it's heavier. So that is why we do that. That is why, or don't do that. That is why we don't do that. So it has been 40, almost 45 minutes. Does anybody have any other questions for me? I really enjoy chatting about the book, and all these questions have been very, very good. So I'm wondering if I have any other questions before we end about maybe how to do your own book. I do have a video tutorial. It's not very great, but I have a video tutorial on me actually making this book and telling you, each step that I take in order to make it. So if you're a crafty person, sorry, I have to take a drink of water. It's just, yeah. But if you're a crafty person and you don't want to spend the money in my shop or in anybody else's shop to buy a book, you can watch my video to learn how to make it. Oops, sorry. Thank you, Magic Weaver. Was that Magic Weaver I saw just now? Let me see if it'll let me go back. Yes, Magic Weaver, thank you for your time and watching. It's been fun so far. So I just did the flip through. If anybody, I've had some new people just popped in. I just did the flip through. I'm taking questions. So if you have any questions about the books that I sell or make, or my book specifically, I'm just taking questions. Questions. I don't have a specific video, Angie, on dyeing paper. However, the steps are explained in my video making this book. It's called Let's Make a Book of Shadows, and it's not very far down my list. If you want to check out my channel, um, my video list after this. But basically what I do is when I make a client's book, I take the whole stack and I have a tub. And currently I dissolve instant coffee with hot water in that Rubbermaid or tub, if you will. And I just I let the pages soak that up. Now you can also just, you know, take a tea bag if you want to do one page at a time. You can take a tea bag and you can rub the tea over the pages. And what I do is I bake the pages usually. Hopefully I will be investing soon in a drying rack specifically for paper making. But currently right now I have to bake them to dry them. Anna, I sell books at on my shop. It's cunningowlcreations.com. And that's cunning like cunning folk, and owl like the animal, and creations.com. I make books like this in this style that are completely custom, and I also make practical magic style Book of Shadows. So the bifold or the trifold, I think it's bifold technically. Anyway, I make those as well. Those are really fun. So, any other questions? And of course, I'll put, if you want to if you want to come back, I think Noah mentioned my shop in the live chat before, but if you can't reach, if explaining the name doesn't help, I will, once this actually posts, I will put it in the description box. So, any other questions? No, nothing popping up for me. Are we good? All right, no other questions. I'm going to go ahead and go. And thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun. And hopefully the next video you will see of me will be the drunk divinations this weekend. So thank you all so much for y'all time. And I hope you all have a great week. And if you're in Florida, stay safe from Hurricane Elsa. So, blessed be, guys.